Hey everybody. So I feel like this is a topic I want to touch on because lately a lot of players have been saying the anti-airs in MKX are fine, which I don't agree with. You cannot downplay the fact that jumping is very powerful in this game. Now I'm not saying that there's no anti-airs and that you just need to jump constantly to win. What I am saying is that anti-airing is a luxury for some characters rather than it being a core staple, which is usually very common, especially in 2D fighters. Now, the training mode experts need to be put on blast here, because in training mode, you can make almost anything look good. And with these players who set the AI to just jump at them and then show you that, hey look, I can anti-air this, it's completely fine, get good. Well, fortunately, NRS is releasing a patch. So all of you guys that think the game is fine, thank heavens that none of you are in charge, because I have high hopes that NRS will touch up on the jumping in this game. Whether it be by a few anti-air attack buffs or some jump-in attack nerfs for certain characters, I think they're going to do something regarding some of the jump attacks in this game. Now, getting back into the training mode experts that claim anti-airing is fine in this game, let me become one of them for you and convince you that anti-airs are indeed fine. And now pay attention to the characters and moves that I'm going to use to demonstrate this. Alright, so I'll choose a character like Melina, who has a jump one. Her jump one is very strong. It's difficult to anti-air in many situations, especially if you combine it with a good Melina behind the wheels and factor in everything. So, Aaron Black has his move, that's an upward grenade explosions, down back 4. This is a good anti-air because you can anti-air Melina out of her jump in. Now I'm going to show you guys this by having Melina backdash and then do a jump in, and I'll show you that it'll connect if I don't do anything. So see, now if I use this move to anti-air her, you can see it works. Pretty much 10 out of 10. She jumps, you do it, she's getting anti-aired. Not only that, but you get a full combo after it. So that's problem 1 solved. Now, another character with a good anti-air. And we'll use somebody else this time. Let's see, who else has a dumb jump in? Okay, Sub-Zero. We'll use Sub-Zero. And we'll use his jump 1. And his jump 1 is, I'd say it's pretty difficult to anti-air consistently if the Sub-Zero knows when to jump and picks his spot right and picks his spots right. So I'll record Sub-Zero doing a backdash and then a jump in, and then let's see if it connects. Okay, it does connect. Now I'm gonna tell you guys about this move. It's an upward soul blast attack, and if you see somebody jump, you can use it to anti-air them. Now let's see how it works. It knocks Sub-Zero out of the air. He jumps, I do it, he gets it out of there. So again, this is in training mode. This is an amazing anti-air. You technically cannot jump at Ermac if he's doing this. You leave the ground, I do it, anti-air every time. Now that's what the training mode experts want you to believe, but when you're playing the actual game against a real opponent that knows what they're doing, it's not just some random rank and scrub or random that's just playing to kill some time on the Thursday night. I mean, when you're playing somebody good and they know how to play the game, they know the meta, they know what to do, they're going to know when to abuse jumping, which is not as rare as you guys would probably think it would be. For example, if I'm Ermac and I'm blocking and we're from this range, not only do I have to worry about a jump-in attack from that far, I also have to worry about run-in forward 4, which again, you cannot react to both at the same time. You gotta pretty much pick there. Run-in grab, run-in poke, a slide, run in armor. Like, you got multiple layers of options in the neutral that you gotta look out for. So if I'm on the Ermac side and I'm trying to play footsies or do whatever, block, thinking he's doing a slide, gonna run, jump, half screen normal, you know, all these options. If I see him, if I think he's gonna run up to me or do something and then he jumps in the air, and by the time I realize he jumps, he's right here, and you try to anti-air, what's most likely going to happen is this is going to happen. You're going to end up getting hit. And your anti-air is not going to work because in that split second of anti-airing, he jumped and caught you off guard, so you try to anti-air, it's just you can't really do it. Now that's fine, but in a game that's this crazy and this heavy on the neutral with so many options, you would think that anti-airs would be a bit stronger to deal with that. Because this game actually has strong anti-airs, believe it or not. There are characters in this game that have very strong anti-airs, and I'll pick 3 of them as examples. First example, Ermac has one of the best anti-airs in the game with his down 4, and this is an anti-air that's properly designed. For example, somebody jumps at you. I'll record the AI, even though this is a proximal example. I'm not saying it's going to be easy in real match, but just to show you. Now, I don't know why he's doing a stand 4. Okay, so he does the jump in. You could use Ermac's down 4, and it will anti-air them, and you can link that into teleport, and you get a full combo off an anti-air. Now, why does this move anti-air and a lot of other attacks don't anti-air? Well, the reason is because Ermac lowers his hurt box, and his leg raises up, and his leg has a hitbox attached to it. So, it's one of the best anti-airs in the game for that reason alone. It's a very, very good designed anti-air. And on top of that, Ermac has other good anti-airs. He has back 1. Not as good as down 4, but it does the job. He has down 3. And there are other characters that have this too. And I'll show you the other 2 right now. Now, the character who has the best anti-air, in my opinion, is Melina. Melina has probably the best designed anti-air in the game. It does such a good job at anti-airing. It lowers her hurt box into a small ball, and then the casing around her is engulfed by a hitbox. So in order to make contact with Melina, you're going to have to get through... In order to make contact with Melina's hurt box, you're going to have to get through her hitbox roll, which means you're going to get rolled 9 out of 10 times. So again, this is an amazing design anti-air. Moves like that are awesome because they add more depth to the game. And last but not least, the character who has another amazing anti-air is Alien. He has a great designed anti-air. His up 3 is, his anti-air is up 3. And not only does up 3 have a good upward hitbox, like how anti-airs usually should have, but the best thing about his up 3 is when he does it. Why does Sub-Zero keep doing roundhouses when I'm recording him? Okay. This is one of the best anti-airs in the game. Top 3 anti-air easily. Now, the reason why this is such a good anti-air is because his tail doesn't have a hurt box attached to his body, so it's technically an upper body invincible attack, which you can use as an anti-air, and that's how a lot of anti-airs are designed in some games. They have upper body invincibility, you know, like on uppercuts, or jabs have hitbox extensions, so you can use them to anti-air upward. And it makes them great because they work as an anti-air against, you know, jump-ins. So Alien lowers his hurt box with his body, and his tail goes outward, and it's invincible, so it doesn't have a hurt box attached, and that's an amazingly designed anti-air. Now, if you notice something, all these anti-airs are different inputs. You can make anti-airs great without keeping them generic. Like, for example, I know a lot of people want down 2s buffed, which they should be buffed, but everybody's anti-air shouldn't be generic across the board, like just down 2. That's the anti-air for the game. You can make anti-airs unique for every character. Like, for example, Ermac anti-airs characters usually by doing down 4, whereas Alien anti-airs everybody by doing an up 3. And then you have Melina, who anti-airs characters by doing a roll. So they all have different anti-airs that are all very good and viable, and they're all consistent in the highest levels of play. And so you can give characters anti-airs that are unique. Not everybody has to have a down 2 anti-air. For example, Jason, to give him an anti-air, you could just fix his anti-air throw, which should be an anti-air, and then there you go. Give it an extended hitbox, or make it so it's upward body invincible to jump attack, so he can anti-air people. There you go. Now Jason has a unique anti-air. You can give Predator a unique anti-air, make his up laser faster, so he can anti-air with his up laser. Right now it's like, I think 10-9 frames, which is pretty slow. It's not slow. It wouldn't be slow for a lot of other games, but for this game, that's MKX, this game is fast, explosive, so many things happening at the same time. It needs to be a lot faster, like, I don't know, 6-5 frames for it to be a good anti-air. You have Leatherface that can anti-air with his upward chainsaw. They buffed that up. You can even give characters anti-air roundhouses. I know Sub-Zero could use a standing 4, or Scorpion could use a standing 3 or 4. They just adjust the hitbox a little bit, and then there you go. They'll have an amazing anti-air that's unique. Liu Kang with up 4, Kung Jin with up 1, Jackie has up rockets. So again, you can make every character have a unique, viable anti-air. They just need to be good at the highest level, like some of the characters have, like Melina, Ermac, Alien. There's a few other ones, but those are the 3 best anti-airs in the game. Now I'm gonna say the characters that have very strong jump-ins. I'm gonna go through the entire cast and let you guys tell you guys who have powerful jump-ins that are hard to anti-air even on a read if they know how to position it and jump at the right time in split moments. So, okay, starting with Alien. Jump 2, his jump 2 is hard to anti-air. His jump 4 is also hard to anti-air. Jason, his slasher jump-ins are pretty busted. His slasher jump 1 and jump 2 are difficult for a lot of characters to anti-air. Kung Lao, his jump 3, his jump kick is difficult to anti-air for a lot of characters. Jax, his jump 1 is hard to anti-air. Sonya, her jump 1 is hard to anti-air. Kenshi, his jump 1 is semi-difficult, but for the most part, it's not that much of an absurd jump-in, so his jump-ins aren't that crazy. Katana's jump-ins aren't busted. Her jump-ins are fair, but she's kind of a jumpy air character because if you try to anti-air, she has a bunch of mind games with floats, which is an entirely different thing. That's fine. I'll brush up on that after I go through the cast. Scorpion, jump kick. Pretty difficult to anti-air for a lot of characters, especially if the Scorpion player knows what they're doing with their jump kick. Sub-Zero, same thing as Scorpion. His jump kick is very hard to anti-air, and he's also got jump 1, which is a good jump in. Melina, her jump 1 is pretty ridiculous. It has a lot of active frames. It hits behind her even when she crosses you up, and she's got a bit of a small jump arc, I'd say. So Takeda, his jump 4 is pretty hard to anti-air. It's really good. Cassie, her jump kick is hard to anti-air for many characters, and if you get hit by a jump kick in Brawler, you're losing a 40% combo. Jackie, her jump-ins aren't stupid. The only thing she could do is do an air move, her air ground pound, to kind of like throw you off, but she's not really a jumpy air character. Kung Jin has ridiculous jump-ins. His jump 2, his instant 4 jump 1 are probably the hardest jump-ins to enter in the game, so his jump-ins are ridiculous. Tanya, her jump 2 is pretty dumb. It's hard to anti-air in many situations. Baraicho, either it's his jump 3 or jump 4, the one where he jumps in with his butt. That one's hard to anti-air. And his jump 2 is also hard to anti-air. The belly flop one, where he raises his hurt box upwards and he comes down with his hitbox, that's hard for a lot of characters to anti-air. Leatherface doesn't really have that many. Actually, he doesn't have any stupid jump-ins. He has actually pretty fair jump-ins. Predator, his jump 3 and jump 4 are pretty dumb anti-airs. His jump 3 especially. It's like Scorpion and Sub-Zeros and Kung Lao's and Takeda's. Like, it's in that big group of stupid jump kick attacks. Shinnok, his jump 1 is pretty crazy. Comes out 6 frames, a lot of active frames, a lot of range. Pretty good. Kano isn't that absurd as a jumping character. His jump 1's pretty solid. It can be cheap in some scenarios where you jump at like a certain angle, but for the most part, he's not one of the crazy jump in, punch, or jump kick characters. Cage actually has reasonable jump ins. He's got a good jump arc too, so he's not really that crazy of a jumping character. Aaron Black, kind of the same as Cage, but he's not as floaty. Doesn't have crazy jump ins. Ermac's got really good jump ins. His jump 1 is kind of like Melina's, where it's hard to answer. It's either his jump 1 or jump 2. It's got like a hitbox, a big hitbox. It crosses up, hits behind him. His jump kick is retarded. It's like Sub-Zero, Scorpions, a big group of dumb jump kicks. Kotal, very good jump in, a lot of active frames, big range. Kind of makes his hurt box weave back a bit, which makes it hard to anti-air for a lot of characters, so he's got a very strong jump in. Reptile, his jump 4 is pretty ridiculous. It's in that group of a lot of hard to anti-air jump kick attacks when done right. Ferritor isn't really that jumpy of a character. I guess if you consider his neutral jump punch, he's one of those jumpy characters, but he's not really a character that jumps at you too often. His jump 1 is really good though. It's cheap, but it's not at the top of... It's not on the same lines along with the other really stupid jump attacks. Devora, her jump 1 can be tricky to anti-air because the needle that comes out of her arm doesn't have a hurt box, so It's pretty difficult, but for the most part, she isn't one of the crazy jumping characters. Raiden actually has pretty fair jump-ins from far. He's one of the balanced characters as far as jump-ins go. His neutral jump is very good, but his forward jumps aren't that crazy. Quan's forward jump is kind of like Shinnok's, a lot of active frames, extends his hitbox forward, goes pretty far. His jump forward is kind of dumb if used in the right angles and such. He's also got a really good neutral jump punch, but he's on, like, I'd say the tier of, like, the next tier of dumb jump-ins, like, you know, Shinnok, Quan, Cassie, like those kind of characters. Goro's actually got fair jump-ins. His jump kick could be hard to anti-air in some situations, but for the most part, it's not as crazy as other attacks. Tremor's got fair jump-ins. And Charborg's got, I'd say, for the most part, fair jump-ins. His jump kick could be hard to anti-air, but it's not as ridiculous as most of the other characters in the game. Now let's say NRS normalized a lot of the jump attacks in this game, like the dumb jump-in attacks like Jason Slasher, Alien, Jack, Sub-Zero jump punches, all these dumb jump kicks that are super hard to anti-air, Kung Jin. Let's say they normalize all these dumb jump-in attacks, including Baraijo and such, and they give characters better anti-airs. Now you're going to say, well, now you can't jump, Rio. Now the game is just stale. It's just so many easy anti-airs and whatnot. Well, I'm going to say that's not true. First of all, the kind of game that MKX is, with the crazy explosive jumping and the rampant footsies, and is he going to armor, is he going to run, is he going to do this, you're still going to be able to sneak jump-ins. Like, how many times do you see characters that have shit jump-ins get jump-ins on people? Like, for example, Jackie, Jason, Johnny, Aaron Blacks, like these people, Liu Kang, these people can get jump-ins. Like, it's not like if you tone down jump-ins, your jump-ins are going to be useless and hopeless. And now going back to the thing I had with Katana and her air float, even if you were to, like, completely destroy everybody's jump-ins and super steroid buff anti-airs, there's always going to be that group of characters that will jump no matter what because they have the air moves to allow them to do so. For example, Alien, no matter how much you nerf his jumps, he'll always be able to do some kind of jumps or tricks with his air flip, which will, you know, alter his arc or make him jump and do a very fast falling attack. So it'll be tricky for people to anti-air him, and even if he has the armor on his EX flip. So there's always that. Characters like Kung Lao with dive kicks, no matter how much you nerf his jumps, you're still going to have to worry about the dive kick and all that example. So it'll always be him jumping in 50-50. Is he going to dive kick or is he going to go for the jump? And the same thing ties in with Sonya. Same thing with her. She's either going to jump or dive kick. You got to guess between unless you have a crazy armor attack. Cyber Sub-Zero 2, he's a jump dive kick character. Characters like Scorpion that can jump and teleport. Characters like Ermac, they could jump, teleport, jump, float to fake you out and then do ground pounds. They have a ton of air options. Katana could jump, float to throw you off guard, ruin your anti-air timing. Takeda, who could jump and do his air special. Kung Jin, jump, EX dive kick. Tanya, jump, teleport. There's a lot of characters in this game that would have the ability to, even if jumps were made garbage, to throw you off guard and make you think about anti-airing them and then establish some sort of jumping metagame for them. Even with Kano too. Kano could do it too. He's got an air cannonball. So this is my take on jumping in this game in general and anti-airs. I think people focus too much on training mode to establish anti-airs are good and don't look at real concrete evidence in tournaments. Like, how many times you guys watch a match and see jump-ins blocked or land or go unpunished compared to how many times you see jump-ins go punished? You're usually going to see, you don't see jumps punished that often. And to say that this game, jumping is, to say it's not stronger, to say that the jumping is not stronger in this game compared to MK9 or Injustice is completely false. The jumping in MK9 and Injustice, which was strong in some aspects and regards in those two games, that is not comparable to the jumping in this game. The jumping in this game, I think, is the strongest out of Injustice, MK9 in this game. I think MKX has the strongest jumps that we've seen in the past 3 games. And that's my opinion on it, guys. Hope this explains some things to you, and I'm going to predict that NRS may touch up on some jump attacks in this game or buff some anti-air attacks. And we'll see.